Isn't it nuts that these days some games can actually cost more than CPUs? I mean, look, I've got 3 different CPUs here, and all of them are about the same price or cheaper than the games I'm going to be showing you in this video. And if you don't believe me, listen to this. The Ryzen 5 2600 is a 6-core 12-thread processor that came out back in 2018, and it costs about $40 to $50 on the used marketplace. Guess what the first game we're going to be testing is? Crimson Desert. Guess how much Crimson Desert cost? 70 bucks. And for our second processor, we have a Ryzen 5 3600, which was released back in 2019 with a clock speed of 3.6 gigahertz, 6 cores, 12 threads, and 32 megabytes of L3 cache. And guess what our other games are going to be? We're going to be playing Black Myth Wukong, $60. We're going to be playing Warhammer Space Marine 2, $60 as well. And for our final processor, we have a Ryzen 5 5500, which you can find for about $75 to $80, sometimes $90 new. I've seen them as low as $50 on the Facebook Marketplace. This is also a 6-core 12-thread 3.6 gigahertz clock speed processor, but unlike the Ryzen 5 3600 over here, this one only has 16 megabytes of L3 cache. Now, you might be asking yourself, why am I listing off the prices of these processors and comparing them to the prices of some games? But the reality is, not everyone has a massive budget to go out and spend on their computer. And I wanted to show you guys a video where if you had some of these cheaper processors, could you run the most expensive games out there? So here's my objective with this video. I want to take these 3 budget processors and put them all through the test of 6 different games that either cost $60 or $70 to give you guys the best realistic understanding. If you were looking to upgrade your PC or build a brand new one, and these are the kinds of processors you could afford, you would also want to know if you were to purchase those expensive games, are they going to play well? So that's what I want to do for you guys, is take these processors and put them through that test. To make this the most fair benchmarking test that I can, I'm going to pair those 3 different processors with an RTX 3060 Ti. And for all the games we're going to be testing, we're going to try out Black Myth Wukong, Borderlands 4, Crimson Desert, Cyberpunk, Spider-Man 2, and Space Marine 2 as well. And at the end of this video, I'm going to have a chart just like the one you see right behind me. It's going to show how well each CPU performs in each game based on the 1% lows, the max FPS, and the average FPS. That way you can determine if you were to find one of these budget CPUs in your marketplace, or at least at a good price, if it'd be worth purchasing so that you can play some of these expensive games. So I'm gonna get to work on benchmarking these games for you guys, and I'm actually gonna let you watch me play it in real time so that you can see exactly what kind of performance you might expect if you were to go out and purchase one of these types of processors. And during that gameplay, you guys will get to see how well each CPU does or does not run, and if there's any kind of motion blur, stuttering, FPS dips, anything like that. And you guys, I do actually have a newsletter, as you can see right here, that will update you of the upcoming content on this channel. That's a free product. You can check that out in the link in the description below. If you are interested in contributing to the growth of this channel by helping me get new technology, new things to test out, there is a paid version where you also can potentially win this gaming PC right here. This has a Ryzen 5 7500F, 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM, and an RTX 2080. That will also be in that newsletter link down below. Well, that seems like it's probably enough of me rambling. Let's go ahead and start these tests. You guys, I've been on this 2600 for a couple minutes now, and it is running very, very smooth. So if you watched the graphics card video I did of this, where I put graphics cards with expensive games, I tried to get into this castle here, and it got me killed. So hopefully I've got the right attire on and I did the right thing. Oh, maybe it's gonna actually let me in here. Yeah, I am now 0.000112% through Crimson Desert. Let's go, guys. So I'm in the 3600 on Crimson Desert here, and it is raining, and I'll actually bring you guys in for this here. So the game, it is actually raining. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. I think you can. Oh yeah, there you go. Can you guys can see it from there, right? That is very strange. I don't know if that's a Crimson Desert or the processor, or I'm assuming it's the game. All right, guys, I'm gonna lose my mind trying to find this Abyss Nexus. I've been looking for like 20 minutes, but what I can tell you so far is this 5500 has ran really smooth. And it's basically saying like 47 has been the 1% low, and we've been averaging probably like 80 to 90 FPS. So very, very solid experience on this 5500. real quick. Whoa, why is this so blurry? Are those shadows? That's really bad. I wasn't planning on having this part on, but I might have to keep that because you guys, that looks terrible. What is that? Was that the DLSS? For whatever reason, I turned FSR on and it seemed to be okay. And you guys may not be able to see this, so I might have to bring you in closer real quick. What I'm talking about is like looking right here at this hair. Look at how that's moving, and I'll try to get it to show on a spot where, okay, so now you guys can probably see it as well. Like look right in here. See all this stuff? I don't know if that's DLSS or if that's something else. Dang, you guys. So I was really curious if it was gonna do it again on the 3600, and it is. It's doing the same exact thing that it did before. Like in here, there's just like this black shading, and it's only on DLSS. I don't know why it does it when DLSS is on, but FSR, it doesn't do it. Enable FSR, it's gone. It's gone, not on there. All right, I don't really have much to say on this 5500 in Black Myth Wukong. I've been playing it for probably 15 minutes now, and it feels really good. There is, however, still the same issue that I had before, where like on FSR, the screen is okay, but then DLSS, it does have like all that black speck. So probably Black Myth Wukong related if I had to guess. So I've been playing Cyberpunk on the 2600 for probably 15-20 minutes at this point, and it is running amazing. Unlike Black Myth Wukong, where I had some issues, I have not seen any problems on this so far. It's been running very, very smooth. Also, I do kind of want to just point out, like, look how clean this looks. Let me bring you guys in for a close shot real quick. Like, look at this game right now. This is on a 2600. This processor is like 40, 50 bucks. That is mad impressive, you guys. Guys, so I've been playing for about 20 minutes on this 3600 so far, and it's been very smooth. This game is very confusing now that I'm actually trying to play through it, so hopefully you guys are enjoying this though. All right, so I just got on this 5500, but you guys, this is insane quality here. I mean, yeah, you can definitely see that up there. That's just mind-blowing to me how good that looks. I'm actually getting to do some driving in the game. Let's see how this goes, what kind of FPS we get. This looks super good though. Wow, this is insane quality. Again, I've said this 100 times and I'll keep saying it. Cyberpunk is just one of those games where it looks, oh, sorry guys, it looks good on everything and plays on everything, but then like, you know, if you put this on a card with 4K that can handle it, it's gonna look unbelievably good. So I'm on the 2600 here and I've been playing for maybe 5 minutes. You guys probably just had a chance to see that lag. I have the settings on medium on here with DLSS on, and it doesn't feel great. So on the 2600, I was getting a lot of lag and delay, but on this 3600, it's been pretty good so far. I'm trying to get into like some more skirmishes and fights for you guys. Ignore my aim here, so that I can accurately show you. But on the 2600, we definitely had like a lot of really bad stuttering. Here, I am not getting that. All right, so we are in a little bit of action here, and what is this gun? And it's running unbelievably good on this 5500. So I am super impressed. You know, as we saw on the 2600, there was definitely some lag. The 3600, it felt pretty smooth. But not only is it like running pretty well, but also the game looks really good too. So very impressive so far by this 5500. This is looking pretty solid so far. It's running a lot better than Borderlands did on this 2600. Ooh, holy cow, this was hard for me to beat. It took me like 3 tries to get through this. So yeah, 2600 has been really smooth on Spider-Man 2. I guess we're about to fight this robot dog. Guys, this feels really good. I know that I'm losing this fight here, but it feels really good. I am just dying over and over again. This is actually kind of hard. Well, here we are back with these friggin' dogs on the 5500. I'm probably gonna get owned again, but it does look really good. I wish I knew how to play this game a little better, but I think I'm just gonna die here, huh? Yep, that's my death. Feels really good on the 5500. In fact, I'd venture to say it looks even better than it did on the 3600, but I could be wrong. So I just got done playing Space Marine 2 for about 10 minutes or so, and you can kind of see here on the screen I went through some mass amounts of carnage, so there was a lot happening. And it was a very smooth process on this 2600. You can see up here, we did dip down to 29 FPS, but most of the time we were sitting anywhere from like 40 to 50 FPS, so it felt like a really good experience. And you might be wondering to yourself, why in the world I have a Bo Peep from Toy Story Band-Aid on? Well, in addition to making YouTube content, I'm also the father of a 2-year-old, and somehow, while changing the diaper, I managed to slam my knuckle into the ground and now have a child's Band-Aid that is too small for me. Just some lore for Sanford gaming experts. Guys, I've been on Space Marine 2 on the 3600 for about 10-15 minutes at this point, and honestly, I can't say that I can tell a massive difference between the 2600 and 3600, but either way, both of them have felt really smooth, and again, this is a processor that would cost you $60, $70, and this is a $60 game, so still really impressed. I mean, you guys can obviously see there's a bunch of stuff going on. In fact, let me go ahead and grab this other gun real quick here and go shoot at all of them. You can see there's tons of things running at me right now, and we're getting very respectable FPS considering how much is happening, and this is probably more CPU based. So this 5500 is definitely holding its own. Guys, we have these charts generated now, and I'm really excited to run through them with you because honestly, I was expecting like 30 to 40 FPS in some of these games, so let's check them out. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Crimson Desert chart first. In red, we've got the 5500. In green, we've got the 3600, and in blue, we have the 2600. So you can see at the top, we've got the max, middle 1% low, and the bottom is the average. This is extremely impressive considering I thought we were only going to get 40 or 50 average FPS on a lot of these budget CPUs. We are pushing nearly 60 on the bottom one and 80 on the top two. So very impressive performance by these budget CPUs on Crimson Desert. So let's go ahead and move on to Black Myth Wukong here. Same color scheme, same, max 1% low average. Very interesting that somehow we got 96 as an average on the Ryzen 5 5500. So either I did something wrong or there was some kind of user error, or it was because it was in a different spot. This game did have a really bad 1% low on the 3600, but again, that was probably something I did personally. But overall, still really impressive numbers for a CPU that you could probably find. I think what I say, $60 to $75 is kind of the average for this one right now. On to Cyberpunk now. I didn't have any massive lag in this game, but there's a massive difference in the average from the 2600 to the 3600 to the 5500. And wow, the 5500 had a massive jump in the 1% low, like it was almost double. So but I mean, there were no stuttering in any of them. So very strange, but still, again, very impressive. Now on Borderlands, this chart is very accurate because the 1% lows on the 2600 are extremely representative of how it felt and how we saw all those hard stutters. Otherwise, everything else was relatively similar. The average on the 2600 was a lot lower. We didn't see a lot of dips, but weirdly, the 3600 beat out the 5500, and the max on the 2600, this is probably all down to some human error, but mostly impressive except for around that 2600. I don't know that would be a great CPU I'd recommend for Borderlands 4. Now on Spider-Man 2, I don't know why this chart says there were such massive 1% lows because I didn't feel those. I didn't really see them in any of the gameplay. The game ran really smooth. I mean, you can even look at the averages here, above 80 on everything, and I think I ran this on medium. So interesting that it's showing those 1% lows. It must have been just, I never had any hard stutters or any issues of any kind, so strange that that's in there. Here we have Space Marine 2, and kind of the similar story that we've seen on everything where the FPS did jump up from CPU to CPU to CPU, but it was still a really playable experience, and this game actually had some of the least amount of lows that I thought were going to happen. I thought this game might have more because how much it usually happens like when you're in all those fights. So interesting to see. I do hope this video was helpful if you are considering purchasing a CPU like these or own one already and you're thinking about buying these expensive $60 or $70 games. Be sure to be on the lookout for the next video where we discuss if the 1660 Super is actually the budget baller option out there right now.